What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here for another transfer targets video. Today we're going to be looking at left wing backs, obviously with Reguilon and Sessegnon that have been at the helm in the last season. It looks as though Reguilon could be out the door, so we're going to see who we can get to replace him. We've marked 5 targets here, most of all which have been linked with Tottenham Hotspur, and in my opinion all 5 of them are very good targets for us. So let's get into the first one and let's talk about Angelino from RB Leipzig. Obviously Spanish, hasn't made a cap for Spain yet, but he is 25 years old, had a pretty good season at Leipzig, which they signed off Man City, I believe. He didn't get much game time at Man City, but they did sign him for quite big money, 31 million off someone, I can't remember who. I think it was off RB Leipzig. They signed him and then they sold him back to them. But he's played 29 games this season, scored 2 goals, 5 assists. Someone I think that would probably fit right into our system. Look, he's been at Man City, didn't really get any game time there, but it looks as though he has kind of developed as a player in the last couple of years there.
Yeah, he's been a real crucial player for RB Leipzig. He's very good at set pieces, good at crossing the ball in. He was obviously a natural left back at Man City, but plays more left wing back at Leipzig. Definitely likes to get forward. I remember him scoring a goal to knock, I think it was Man United out of the Champions League in the group stages. I think it was last year when they got knocked out. I really like him. I think he's a really good left wing back and he will do a very good job at Tottenham. I think defensively, he's probably one of the best on the list. Offensively, he's also pretty good. Not quite to the standard of the others, but he's also very good. So as an all-round package, he's one of the strongest contenders, but he probably would be quite expensive as well. Because I think Leipzig, he's quite a crucial player for them. So I'm not sure if he would cost a lot of money.
Yeah, I actually made a mistake when I said that that they signed him off Leipzig and sold him back. He actually came through. They signed him as a youth player for the under-18s of Deportivo, and then he kind of got loaned out to Leipzig, and they liked the look of him, then they signed him. So that was the situation there. His market value here on Transfer Market is 27 million. A couple years back, it was 31.5 million. So it has dropped a little bit with his contract expiring in 2025. So, I mean, he's one that I like, but he wouldn't be my first choice.
I think there are other players on this side rather, but he's actually very accomplished and he would be a very good signing if we were to sign him.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the next target, and that is Marc Cucarella of Brighton. Obviously, he's had a really good season for Brighton in his first year there. Signed him off Getafe. They signed him off Barcelona, where he came through. He's had 1 cap for Spain, 23 years of age. Very good player, and I've really enjoyed watching him this season. I think that maybe for what I've seen of him, maybe his output is a bit low in terms of goals and assists, which I like to see more of him. But he is a young player, first year in the Premier League, and from what he's shown, I've been quite impressed. Yeah,
he can play left wing as well. He can also play left centre back, which he's done a few times, so quite versatile. I think he's a player who's quite reliable. I think for his first season in English football, he's done pretty well. I think his output needs to improve, but as well, he did show, for example, like a really nice goal against Man United in a 4-0 win. Like, he does have a good left foot on him. I don't think his crossing is maybe as good as the other players on the list. I think his dribbling is very strong, so he's good at taking people on and getting to the byline. And I think defensively as well, he's quite good. He's a very hard worker and he gets a lot of challenges in. So I think he's done well at Brighton, but again, I actually think I'll probably rather Angelino to him.
I think that when we saw him play when they beat us 1-0 in the back end of the season, he was so strong that day. So strong. And I remember a couple of games against Arsenal, I believe. He played really well as well. But I might like to see him play more consistent minutes in the Premier League before actually considering him as a target, although he has been linked to the likes of Chelsea.
I think he's one of those players where his output has been great for Brighton, but you put him in a better team and it might shoot up, because he does create lots of things, and just because they're not being finished by the likes of Welbeck and stuff doesn't mean that he hasn't been doing well.
All right, that's Marc Cucarella. Let us know your comments on him in the comment section below. Let's move on to Filip Kostic now. Obviously a name on a lot of people's lips at the moment. Just won the Europa League with Eintracht Frankfurt, with a very central figure to that. And his stats are second to none. I mean, The amount of assists he gets is absolutely abnormal. 9 this year in the Bundesliga alone, 6 in the Europa League, which is crazy numbers. 4 goals in the Bundesliga with 3 in the Europa League. He was unbelievable in the final. He was also very good against Barcelona as well. He got a hat-trick, didn't he, against Barcelona? 2 goals against Barcelona.
I don't think he got a hat-trick yet, but I think got maybe a few assists as well.
Yeah, he was absolutely unbelievable. And look, he can play left wing back. He can play left wing. The delivery he has on him is absolutely second to none. The stats read that he's, in terms of delivery, one of the best in Europe. So he's one who would absolutely love at the club.
Yeah, I mean, he's not his. If you bring him to the Premier League, his delivery goes up there with the very best from what we've seen. He's got an exceptional final ball. He's very good when he gets in the final third. He's got a very good shot across the face of goal as well, very powerful shot. And he's obviously his crossing is fantastic, and he would be an unbelievable option when we're going forward. The question marks, obviously, are defensively. He's 29-year-old winger converted to a left wing back. So defensively, although he tries very hard, he's not the best defensively. He's can definitely be caught out because he's definitely more of a left winger playing at left back than he is like Angelino, who's a left back playing a left wing. So a bit different. He's a bit different in that sense, but for what he lacks defensively, he more than makes up for attacking up. It's a bit like when you think of Trent. People think of Trent Alexander-Arnold. Obviously, I don't think he's on that level, but people say, oh, he's a bad defender. But it's like when you have what he has, it more than makes up for any deficiencies he has going back. And yeah, Trent Alexander-Arnold might be caught out once or twice a game, but he's also going to create 10 chances. So that's worth having. And I feel the same with Kostic. He might get caught out a few times, but his delivery is just worth having him in the team alone. Yeah. So he would be a brilliant option for me.
Completely agree. Obviously, with 1 year left on his contract, he's got a market value of 18 million. It's been rumoured that you can get him for about £15 million, which is absolutely amazing value for someone of that quality. So I think it's a no-brainer, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Let's move on to our next target, and that's Ivan Perisic of Inter Milan. Obviously, Antonio Conte knows him very well. Getting on a little bit at 33 years of age, but had a very strong season this year with Inter Milan, finishing second in the league. His output in terms of delivery is very good. 8 goals and 7 assists this season. Obviously, he doesn't have as much longevity as someone like Kostic, who's 29 years old, who's also on the kind of latter stages. But I think that on a free transfer, end of his contract now, I would like to see him through the door, but I'd probably prefer to see Kostic through the door.
Yeah, I think his age definitely counts against him, although I feel like he's been 33 for a long time. I feel like every year he's turning 33. Every year he turns 33. He's obviously always been brilliant on the international stage. Every tournament, he seems to be one of Croatia's better players. He doesn't get fazed by the big occasion. He's definitely a very mature player, and he's definitely a player who likes the responsibility, likes the big occasion. He went through a bit of a weird period during his career because I think it was at Wolfsburg, then he went to Inter Milan, and then he kind of didn't do that well at Inter until then he went out on loan to Bayern Munich, won the Champions League, did quite well there, but then they weren't convinced to sign him permanently, so he went back to Inter and he's been brilliant ever since he's come back. First under Conte and then under Simone Inzaghi. I think he's a bit of a weird one because he plays left wing back. And a bit similar to Kostic, where I feel like he's not good enough to be an elite winger. And he's also not good enough to be an elite left back. But when you put him a left wing back and he plays that role where he has a lot of attacking responsibility and he's a hard worker as well, he becomes like a bit of an elite left wing back because he's so good going forward. He's a really good winger. He's always been a very good winger. He's just not an elite winger. But you don't need to be a very good left wing back because you've got other attacking players there. So I think he's been brilliant for Inter Milan, and I think he'd be a very good signing. But it's a very short-term signing. You're probably thinking he's probably not going to go on for much longer than 2 years max. You know, in 2 years he'll be 35. How much longer? And left wing back as well is a very taxing position physically. So but clearly at 33, he's taken care of himself very well, isn't he? He's still performing top of his game. So he would be on a free as well. You've got to remember that. So that could be a short. If it's an option where, you know, for some reason we can't get Kostic or something, then I think he's a good option.
And I didn't know this, but actually Transfer Market is telling me that he's been deployed, not many times, but sometimes this season by Inter Milan as a second striker. So I mean, in terms of that, good
finishing.
versatility for you know, big different types of tournaments next year: Champions League, Carabao Cup, FA Cup.
I wouldn't envisage us playing him there often, but I think he's a good finisher.
Not
so I
often,
can
but
understand
I'm saying
it.
if you get injuries or anything like that, you know.
Yeah,
what I mean?
I guess he could play there occasionally. I think he's a very good player. He's been a good player for years, Perisic, but he's found his home now. It's a bit weird. He's kind of like because he's always been very good at international level, but at club level he's always found it a bit hard to find his feet. But he's kind of found his home at left wing back now, finally.
Yeah, 113 caps for Croatia.
Yeah, he's always been brilliant for them.
First got called up in 2011, 11 years ago, you know.
Wow. I remember him at Euro 2012. He was brilliant.
Yeah,
I remember.
32 goals in that time as well. But let's move on to the last player that we're going to talk about today, and that is Theo Hernandez of AC Milan, who's had a brilliant season there, winning the league. Obviously, he was at Real Madrid not long ago, didn't really get to grips with things at Real Madrid. They got rid of him and sent him to AC Milan, and that's really stepped up his game. Has 5 caps for France. He's 24 years of age, 43 million market value according to Transfer Market, with his current deal lasting until 2026. I think it will take a big fee to get him over the line.
Yeah, I think he's fantastic, Theo Hernandez, but the fact that he's good age, he's just won the league in Serie A, I don't think they're in a rush to sell him. I think he'd be good for our system. He might even be the best player on the list, but I think he's probably not gettable for us. And I think in terms of his attacking wise, he's probably not as good as attacking as Kostic and Perisic, but defensively he's probably the strongest. And attacking wise, he's still pretty good anyway. So I would like him, but I don't think the money there, like the value for money, what you're getting, the upgrade you're getting for him as compared to Perisic or Kostic, I don't know if it's worth it.
But he is much younger.
He is much younger, and if you, when's his contract run out?
2026.
So maybe it's a case of if he doesn't sign a new one, you have Perisic and Kostic for now, and then you can get him later.
All right, well, those are our 5 options that we've spoken about today. So it's Angelino, Mark Cucarella, Filip Kostic, Ivan Perisic, and Theo Hernandez. What's your opinions? Who would you want the most?
I think Kostic, just because of what we need in the squad in terms of when we're breaking teams down. I think he would help so much with that. I think he would be a number 1. I really like Perisic, but the age does put me off a bit, although he is on a free. I don't know. I feel like because he'll be on big wages as well, big signing on fees. Do we want? I know Kostic is 29, but 33 is a different element. So I don't think Perisic would be in my thinking unless we really unless either he's really convinced he's going to last the next 2 seasons, or we're a bit desperate. I think Angelino would be a fantastic buy for me. I think it would be Kostic, Angelino, then Perisic.
Wow. Okay. For me, I think a bit different to you. I think if money was no object, and I think Theo Hernandez might be my number 1 choice with his age, with his ceiling, with the amazing season he's had. I mean, I haven't seen him play consistently, but I have seen some clips of some of his assists this season. They look absolutely brilliant. But in terms of value for money, I think Filip Kostic might be the best one to go for. Obviously, with his contract running out, 15 million to get someone of that quality, I think is an absolute no-brainer. So I'd probably just about side with Filip Kostic, to be honest. So that's my opinions. I want to know your opinions in the comment section below. Which left wing back out of these would you like to go for the most? If none of these, let me know in the comment section below if you have earmarked any other left wing backs that we could potentially get this summer. Thank you everyone for watching us today. Next, we're going to be talking about right wing backs, so stay tuned for that. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.